if you observe our event.service.ts, which we had written before, we have declared an events object over here, which will take an array, and we are passing all the data over here. We have hard coded all the data with the event details, right, inside our event.service.ts. Now, in this case, what happens? The data which is coming from this events object is synchronous data, means every time it is going to this events object, it is fetching the data here and it will return events over here whenever we are invoking this method, get events method. So in this video, let's see how we can overcome this by not making it synchronous, by making it asynchronous. Okay, we want to fetch the data asynchronously. See, for example, when we run our application by making use of npm space start, our project is getting compiled, building the modules. It got compiled successfully and hosted on localhost :4200. Now, if you open this link, you can observe that our application is fetching all this event data, whatever the events shown over here, these 5 events, this data is getting fetched from this object, that is events object. Now, in this case, what happens? It is synchronous data where it is fetching and displaying on our web page. Asynchronously, if you want to fetch the data, then we can make use of observables in Angular. Okay, let's make use of observable and let's see how we can fetch this data asynchronously. Okay, let's import subject from rxjs, from rxjs, and using this inside our get events method where we are invoking, here we have defined as return events, right? We are returning this object, events object, which has an array of data which we are passing over here. Okay, so instead of returning this directly over here, let's make use of this subject. Okay, let's remove this. Let's create a variable with let subject equals new subject. Okay, so what is this subject now? If you observe here, we have created a local variable subject and we are creating new of this subject, and this subject belongs to rxjs. rxjs is a module in Angular where we are making use of Angular observables. Okay, and let's define a function over here, set timeout. Okay, set timeout, which will make use of this subject dot next. There is a method inside this subject where we can make use of subject dot next and pass the events over here. We have to pass the events. Okay, see, it's our IntelliSense is providing. So we'll pass the events over here. And another thing which we need to do is we have to specify Angular that it is complete. So subject dot another method, there is something called as complete. We'll make use of this method to indicate that whatever we are returning over here, and we have to pass one more thing over here, that is how much time, because we are setting the timeout, right? So we are setting for 100. Okay, this will return subject object, that is return subject. Okay, that's it. Now we have seen by making use of this function here, I have missed the parenthesis, we'll provide that. Okay, so what we have done so far, we have declared an observable by making use of this subject from rxjs. See, if you observe here, here you can clearly see a subject is a special type of observable that allows values to be multicasted to many observers. So what is the observer which we have provided over here? Not yet, we have not yet provided the observer. Observable we have declared over here, subject. To make use of this observable, what we have to do whenever we are making use of observable, we have to subscribe to it. That is called the observer, right? So we have to subscribe to this observable. So let's save these changes, and inside events-list component.ts, here instead of invoking this by making use of get events like this directly, we have to make use of subscribe to subscribe to this observable. Okay, let's do that now. So let's remove this dot event service dot get events dot, I need to subscribe to it. So subscribe to what? The events we have to pass here. Okay, events which is coming from this dot events equals events. This dot events is equal to events. So what is this dot events over here which we have provided, and we have to specify the type of these events. In this case, the type of events which we are providing this property is of type any, right? Here it is taking an array, so we have to remove this. Okay, it is type of any. Now let's save all these changes. Now if you run the project, okay, it got compiled successfully. Now if I close this and rerun again freshly by making use of npm start, our project is getting compiled. Once it got compiled successfully and hosted on localhost :4200. Now if you open this link, now in this case what is happening? Yes, data is getting fetched here, but it is fetching asynchronously by making use of observable. Previously what was happening, the data which is getting fetched on our application was coming directly from this events object. Events object which we have declared over here, directly it was fetching from here synchronously. So what we have done, by making use of this events object and making use of this observable subject, we are passing that events over here by making use of next method, and we are making it complete, and we are providing specifying the timeout here 100. Now if you observe here, instead of providing 100, what I'll do, I'll change this to, for example, 2000. Okay, and I'll save the changes. Now if you observe, technology events in India got loaded first, and then entire application got loaded. This is a problem, right? We don't want to happen like this. Partial loading of the page, like only the header got loaded and finally the events got displayed on our web page. This is not the right approach. We have to handle this. So in our next video, let's see how we can resolve this by making use of resolver. Okay, till now we have seen about observable by making use of this event.service.ts. Next, what we will do, we have fetched the data asynchronously, but what is happening whenever we are loading this page for a specified amount of time, that is 2000, then what will happen, only the header is getting loaded and finally the entire page is getting loaded. It's like partially loading this page, which should not happen. Even if the page is loaded together after specific amount of time, that is fine, but partially it is loading this header and finally it is loading entire events, that is wrong. So we have to handle this. We'll see in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please like, comment and share this video, and kindly subscribe to my channel in order to watch more videos. Please click on bell icon so that you'll get notifications whenever I am uploading a new video. Okay.